Hello, Qualcomm. My name is Mandeep Patel, and this is my proposal for what we could do if wearable technology was not tethered to mobile phones. What you see in front of you looks very similar to smartwatches on the market today, but it differs in two distinct features. The first is that its primary functionality is to gather key biometric data in order to prevent, mitigate, and manage disease. The second is an innovative use of hardware components in order to provide more room and functionality for the watch's vital sensors. Okay, let's talk about the hardware and the watch itself. Before we get into that, I want to talk about why it's absolutely crucial for this watch to be detethered. When you have healthcare algorithms, stuff that predicts whether or not you're going to get sick based on things such as your heart rate or perhaps your body temperature, you cannot have gaps in that data. Because your life is so unpredictable, it's hard for those algorithms to effectively guess how you felt during that time. And it can really mess up measurements for the next 48 to 72 to even week-long period of time. So, if this watch is to function as a device that mitigates and prevents disease, it needs to be up 24/7. This is why decoupling from cell phones is absolutely crucial. It needs to do its own data gathering and data processing. And it has to display to that user what it was able to find out given what it was able to gather from the sensors in the device. This is also why there needs to be energy independence, meaning that it can't have downtime. But more on that later. Let's get into the watch face and the sensors that are included. So we chose the watch face, or rather I chose the watch face, because it allows for more room. More room means better sensors and more accurate measurements. The three sensors are heart rate sensors, body temperature sensors, and blood pressure sensors. Blood pressure sensors are much smaller but equally accurate thanks to research done by Zhengzhou University in China. These three data points can essentially help researchers triangulate your current body status. Knowing this, they can figure out when you are at risk of heart attack, hypo and hypertension, and they can even display to the user their chances of a headache or migraine. This is just a few of the types of diseases that can be prevented or mitigated by the use of this type of data. And as researchers have access to more robust data, they can start to prevent more and more diseases from happening, and they can reduce the effectiveness of diseases that people currently have. This helps both researchers in the medical field as well as users. If you think about it, one of the hardest things to do when you go to the doctor is telling them how you felt on Friday at 2 p.m. I can never remember that, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Being able to recall something that you felt 3 weeks ago is just really hard to do. Well, with this type of technology, doctors can just pull up a graph of how you felt at that time and at many other data points along the timeline to figure out how you felt immediately after your first application of a medicine as well as 2 weeks later. This type of data is absolutely vital to the healthcare industry, and as of now, there's no cost-effective and convenient way for them to ask patients to gather that data. Integrating that into your daily life as a watch will essentially allow the user to simply put on a watch like they normally would, but also provide their healthcare professional with mounds of data they can use to help out the user. Now you might be asking, okay, if all this technology is in the watch face, where did all the traditional stuff go? Well, there's only one more place, and that's the band of the watch itself. So you can see the processor is within the band. The silicone band allows for this. It prevents heat from affecting the user on the side that presses against their skin. And on the opposite side, you can use copper to dissipate the heat into the open air. The lithium packs are separated into smaller individual packs. This allows for flexibility in the armband itself, but it also allows for the device's own power consumption. These types of factors combined allows for the watch to effectively display watch-type stuff such as time and date, cell phone stuff such as your Facebook notifications, but then also much more important stuff such as how you're doing in terms of a overall biometric standpoint. What is your risk of a headache that day, and should you be concerned for a heart attack in the next week? Because these are very crucial issues, the device needs to be decoupled from the cell phone in order to have 24-hour runtime. Doing this allows for healthcare individuals to have very accurate prediction measurements instead of having to guess, because as stated before, algorithms cannot fill those gaps in if there are gaps to begin with. So this is my solution to what we should do with smart tech if we have the capacity to decouple it from cell phones. I think that we should go ahead and give users access to these types of tools, because on a personal standpoint, it allows for much more independence in the administration of personal healthcare, but it also allows healthcare professionals to become a lot better at when to apply medication, who it's good for, and how it affected that individual patient. So thank you for your time, and thank you for the challenge. I hope you liked my submission. You can find all the sources I used in the description for the MindSumo field in the website itself, and my contact info. Please feel free to contact me with any questions. Thank you,